today, y'all. It's the Dream in the house, and good morning as we coming off an epic Saturday. I got my boy Hatter and Dr. Dizzle. What's up, people?
Wow, great energy, player. Great energy on that one. What's up, Dan? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Ready for this big slate of NFL. Just happy that I did not get involved in really anything on the college card yesterday because it was crazy. And hey, where's the ref picking up his check today from Nebraska?
Oh, that was one of the worst plays I've ever seen, man. I cannot believe that the Nebraska Cornhuskers won the game in that fashion with the receiver running out of bounds, coming back inbounds to make the play. Unbelievable.
2 feet from the defender. Brutal.
That is unreal, Dan. I can't even believe that went down like that.
You know what? And I said yesterday at the end of the show, I think I went into a little bit of tirade about how to stay away from the more competitive matchups. There were a couple of competitive matchups that I thought that, there was like no reason to go near because there were a lot of other easier games on the board that you could be involved with. And there were a couple that you just couldn't figure out yesterday. And hopefully some of you guys stayed away from some of that stuff that was really controversial because I wasn't involved in like the LSU Bama. I wasn't involved in that. I didn't have nothing to do with that Michigan State game either. Michigan State, Nebraska. I didn't get involved in any of that. Even the TCU game, I stayed away from that. I stayed clear of all the games for the most part that had big question marks surrounded around them.
Well, your boy was all over Bama, kid.
I know you were all over Bama, but
great call on North Carolina as well.
Thank you.
I loved North Carolina, and I got thrown off of North Carolina, but I did like them as well. But I had an incredible day yesterday.
Oh, good.
Hey, Adder, I got to say one thing. How about our UConn kids?
Oh, I know.
You see
right?
that? Winning a game 7-3 without scoring an offensive touchdown.
Unbelievable, man. That's just how they do, though, man. They got that pretty stout defense. You still got to give it to them. But the only thing that got me good yesterday was the Memphis Tigers losing to the Naval Academy, man. The midshipmen beat up on Memphis, which I never saw coming whatsoever.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I got news for you, man. Houston still has to play Memphis, and they still have to play Navy. And Navy can ground and pound you hardcore, man. They can hold the ball for 9 minutes if you want. You know what I'm saying? So we got to take a look at Houston's run defense next week, Dream, when we see that particular matchup and have a conversation about it because Navy's run is amazing.
Nah, Navy's got a decent running game, but, what Memphis lacks in offense, Houston doubles it up, and Memphis just – I watched a little bit of that game. Seemed like they just couldn't get it going. They never could get in a rhythm. I give some of that to Navy, but I put a lot of that on, Memphis just having a bad day offensively. So I'm not going to make too much about that, especially coming up against Houston, because Houston runs a completely different style of offense than Memphis.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing about Navy though is they are looking at probably the best bowl game a military institute has ever gotten. I mean, this team is a 7-1 team with their only loss at Notre Dame.
Right.
So, we have to remember that. Memphis, I think, did not plan well for that game. Their offense did come up weak, but that defense, when you give up 45 to Navy, that's pretty brutal. I mean, that's pretty brutal.
The way it looks right now, guys, is, just like a little sneak peek of what's going on as far as the college football playoffs are concerned. I'm looking at something on ESPN right now. They're kind of predicting this as follows. Clemson would be number 1, but behind, let me see, you've got Oklahoma State number 4, Ohio State number 3, and Bama number 2. Oklahoma State after beating up on TCU ski, man. I mean, this isn't,
an 8-point jump in the rankings. I just don't see it.
You don't see it, huh?
I can't see them moving them above. Notre Dame was 5. They won handily.
They actually got Notre Dame dropping. Baylor number 5, Notre Dame number 6, LSU ski number 7, and Stanford, the Cardinal, number 8. And, I'm trying to find out where Oklahoma is in that situation because Oklahoma did their thing. Sparty is now gone. LSU did lose yesterday.
I still think you're going to see Notre Dame number 4, Baylor number 5, Yep. OK State number 6.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? Stanford has to play Notre Dame coming up. Oklahoma State.
Clemson's got to play North Carolina.
Yeah,
probably.
Oh yeah. Dream. What do you think
ACC championship?
What do you think of an ACC championship? North Carolina versus Clemson.
That'll be an interesting matchup. I am not. Clemson is just doesn't do it for me. And, I watched them yesterday. I've never really cared for their offense in the first place. I give it that they're defensively sound. If Florida State would have just stopped trying to run the ball and thrown the ball, I think they would have probably – who knows what would have happened? Maybe even won the game. Florida State, obviously, they kept trying. They couldn't run. And I had an issue with this. I talked about this at the beginning of the week, with a couple of people. Florida State is so enamored with trying to be a run team, and sometimes you have to come out of what you do to beat another team. They had a lot of success through the air against that Clemson defense. I don't know why they didn't keep trying to throw the ball. They kept trying to run the ball, and it just didn't work against them. But that being said, North Carolina is a whole another team. However, I don't know that North Carolina could do it, but I do know that Clemson is going to probably end up getting heartbroken if they go to the national title game.
You think so, huh?
I definitely do, because
be
I don't like their offense.
Yeah, their defense is obviously incredible.
Very, very good.
It's
good. I wouldn't say incredible. I would say good. I saw it yesterday. I saw a team that doesn't pass that great in Florida State pass all over Clemson's defense.
I got a defense, guys. You're going to think I'm absolutely crazy, but probably one of the most athletic defenses I saw in my entire game of 12 hours of watching football yesterday, and that is the Florida Gators. Their defense, I know their offense is crap, but their defense, their playmakers and the secondary and all that, open field tackles, just, batting down balls, doing everything. They're unbelievable, man.
Son, I did want to ask you to not talk about Florida today, though, because even though their defense was dope, we're playing Vanderbilt, so just fall back with that.
Oh no,
my God! No, you gotta test the defense dope against Vanderbilt, really?
I'm just saying.
But if you look at what Florida's done, they've given up only a field goal a couple different times, and Mizzou, which I guess if we want to talk about what Missouri's doing, by the way, they are on strike. Their football team is on strike now, but Florida, they're going to field goal a couple times. What you do with Florida is you play the under almost every time.
Yeah.
That's really what you do with them.
Yeah. Right.
But no, back to Clemson real quick. They got through the tough part of their schedule. They do have 2 road games that they're at Syracuse and at South Carolina, with a home tune-up against Wake Forest in between.
Yep.
I think that a UNC, Clemson championship is going to be an unbelievable game. I don't know what the line's going to be, but I'm sure Clemson will be favored by a touchdown, and I'm already looking ahead for that.
Yeah, you're gonna see an explosive offense of North Carolina go against that
It's the best offense that Clemson's faced by far.
Yeah.
If you look through their schedule, it definitely is, by far. So it'll be very interesting to see.
I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I think a team like Clemson can knock off the Ohio State University.
Yes.
Dream?
No.
You don't think so, huh?
Nope.
Ohio State looked like crap yesterday, man.
Ohio State always looks like crap.
But they played to the teams that they're playing against. And I just want to just reverse right back to Florida again, even though I didn't want to talk about them. But since you brought them up, I am going to talk about them. Florida, the one team that they did play with any offense beat them as far as LSU did, and they did not hold LSU to a field goal. LSU went ham. I shouldn't say ham, but LSU was all over that defense. So fall back with Florida.
They definitely were, but
that's for Hat though, not for you, Dan. Because Hat, I don't know, was something in him in Florida now. I don't know. He had Tebow over the crib or something. I don't know what happened with him, but he got this love affair going on with Florida. He was killing me yesterday with Florida. I'm like, son, they're losing.
Florida
They're losing
the
pair
yesterday. Let alone that. Florida was down the entire game 7-6. I'm like, is this really happening right now, dude? Four turnovers, right out the gate, man, throughout, the first half or whatever. I'm like, oh, man, unbelievable. And every time they would get closer in the red zone, they would just turn the ball over. And they're kicking it. Florida, number one, their offensive line is absolutely crap. So, if they play Alabama with that front four, forget it. Alabama will be in their face.
Quarterback just walk off the field.
Every drop back, he's going to have pressure on him. That's number one. Number two is Florida's kicking game is brutal, man. I mean, you're sitting there like, thinking, oh, this guy's going to miss the game-winning field goal. You don't even have any confidence.
Well, that kicker is a walk-on. Remember, they had open tryouts like 2 weeks ago because their kicking game is so
That's
terrible.
What I'm saying, man. The guy that they sent out there was 3 for 7.
Oh yeah, they
I'm
need to go to the soccer team.
Yeah,
they need to go to the female soccer team.
Yep.
And just be like, look here, kick it.
Yeah, it's not like anybody could get hit in football anyway, so what difference does it make if you put a female out there? Because I got to be honest with you guys, man. Listen, I'm a big advocate of protecting the health of players. I big time. I mean, I see it, and I've coached. I've been through all of this, okay? But the targeting penalties are some of the most insanely bad calls I've seen yet, man.
Horrible.
Dude, I mean, you're going for a standard shoulder-to-shoulder tackle, and they're calling it targeting half the time, man. It's like, oh, my God.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember which one. It was like a minor game, but you had a kid basically trip over another kid on the ground, and he fell forward. When he fell forward, his face mask went into another dude's helmet, and they call it targeting. And it's like, you're kidding me. You're absolutely. It's a joke. And to throw these kids out. Look, I understand the egregious. Look, there are way more egregious, out of bounds, crazy tackles that should never happen, things like that, than the accidental helmet to helmet. This is still football, guys. You're gonna get hit.
The thing is like the refs, unfortunately, and even in the NFL, because I'm sick of that. I mean, I don't know how many times I've seen unnecessary roughness called on a quarterback sack that was like nonsense that the ref threw the flag anyway. But it's like the refs got no comments. It's like common sense has just left the majority of the planet in general. It's like, dude, if you see something a play, if the guy gets tackled badly out of bounds, of course it's a flag. If there's some crazy, play, just look at it. You can see it while it's happening. Of course it's a flag. But if it's some ticky-tack stuff, you cannot throw a flag in these situations. I mean, we see it in the NFL, too, with some of the stuff with the quarterback. It's like they completely took common sense out of the game. If you want to go and review it on film, maybe you should be able to allow.
I think personal fouls should be able to be looked at by the officiating team. I really do, because, you get into situations now, and I know a few years back, we had the whole, Matthias Kiwanuka thing where he didn't sack the quarterback because he thought that the quarterback already released the ball. And then last week, the same thing happened in the NFL. You have guys that are literally scared to hit the quarterback, especially if you're making $500K and then the league's going to come after you for, $25,000, $30,000. Yeah. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. It is, look, it's a man's game. People get hit. Sometimes you get injured. And like you said, Dream, and, we both said, hey, if it's a super late hit, you go helmet to helmet intentionally, things like that. I don't think, look, I'm not a barbarian. I don't think that should be part of the game. But we gotta have common sense.
All right, well, here's what I think goes on. I think the refs are in the heat of the moment. It's happening so fast. And what they do is they base it on the sound.
That's why you got to look at it.
Yeah,
sure.
They hear the helmet to helmet, or they even hear the helmet to his shoulder pads and think.
Well, dude, coaches also coach their team to go crazy on the sideline every time,
and they hear the player going, "Oh!"
I know. It's like when you play pickup basketball in 8th grade, and you can't make a basket, so you trip over your own feet and call your foul.
They hear the player like the Dream was last night. And anybody who knows that caught the 2-team parlay that went out on right before hockey, if anybody watched the Washington Capitals last night, we got the game-tying goal for overtime with 1 second left on the clock, and your boy said, "Oh!"
Good for you, man. That's
Yo, it was crazy up in the crib. Me and Mama were home, and we were. She's having a party today, so she was making some stuff for her party. She's having some girls over, and I was making like these margaritas that were like their margaritas were so strong, like they asked you to turn your keys in, even if you were home. You had to turn your keys into the police department because you just couldn't do nothing after you drank them. But I was making these crazy margaritas, and I'm trying to watch it, and I can only see it on the ticker, obviously, and I'm like, I'm going to lose this damn Cap game, and I was so mad. They were down the whole game. The Caps and the Canadians were both down the whole game. Then all of a sudden, I get the Canadians to kind of start acting right, and the Caps are still just hanging on. I'm like, I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to get this. And then out of nowhere, I see 2-2 overtime. I'm like, yo, what's up?
And I'll tell you, last thing on the puck, but that St. Louis Blues team is going to be a serious problem.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
I mean, 10-3-1 already, and they just absolutely destroyed Nashville in Nashville yesterday. I mean, that game was close for 2 periods at 1-0, and they just lit it. I mean, lit it. 3 goals in the third period, a 4-0 win. I can see that St. Louis Blues team being very, going far this year.
I've 2 teams that I just don't get crazy about right out of the gate: the Blues and the Stars. They for some reason they're regular season juggernauts, dope, scoring mad goals, having fun doing their thing, and then as the season starts winding down, they start doing their thing. And guys, I don't know how many I told you guys about this already, and I'm going to talk about it again. This Bruins team has an endurance issue. I don't know who their strength and conditioning coach is, but if you go and look at them and watch them, and you go look at their games already played, by the third period, this team is so out of gas. And last night, one more time came to fruition as the Canadians went ham in the third period, grabbed 3 goals on them in that third period. I'm telling you, I don't know what happens with this Bruins team, but by that third period, they are a wrap.
All right, man. Hey, it is what it is, and we'll continue to keep doing that. What you're saying, Dream, just keep going against them, especially in the latter parts of the games.
The Habs are a great team to live line.
I really, really enjoy watching the Habs this year, man. I think they got one just the whole package, man. I mean, everything that's going on. Their skating, their passing, their defense. Carey Price, I don't know if he's back yet, but hopefully, was he back in last night's game? Do you guys know of?
Checking right now. I don't know if he was in because
all I know is I'm waiting for. I think this is Thanksgiving weekend, right? Yeah, the day before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving Eve is Habs at the New York Rangers.
Really? That's gonna be a hell of a
Wednesday, November 25th. I might have to make my way over there for that.
The Habs win yesterday was a little ugly.
They
didn't really get right to the third period, to be honest with you. It was nothing pretty about their first 2 periods.
Yeah, but even when it was 2-1 in the second, you had to sit there and go, all right, they're winning this game.
Got it.
They're winning this game. And, I mean, the thing is with the Habs is it doesn't really matter who's playing goal for them because their offense has been ridiculous. And, I mean, their defense has been ridiculous too. But, I mean, minus the 2-1 loss to the Sens, and 3 out of 4 games, they're putting up at least a 4 spot and then a 5 spot against the Jets. So
Price wasn't in. Condon was in last night.
Condon's been in. Condon's been getting a lot of work, man.
Yeah, so, but that's good. You know what? I like to see that. So that way, the goalie's not. I mean, it's way early hockey still, but conserve your players because last year, man, I think at the end of the season, we saw a lot of teams where guys was a rat.
Yeah, right.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, they were spent by the time the playoffs came. Well, gentlemen, just so you guys know, as we're talking about college football and we're talking about hockey and the ice and what's good with that, there's some professional football being played today.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I think there's a couple of games that we could talk about as far as professional football. Exactly, Dream. And I think I'm going to just start right now and just start talking about it, man, because there's a big one on the ticket that is, I'm just going to lead off with this one, and it's the Green Bay Packers coming into the Carolina Panthers and Killer Cam. Packers coming off the loss 6-1, 2-1 away, going against the 7-0 Panthers, who are 4-0 at home. Green Bay is favored minus 2.5 with an under/over of 46. And Dream, I know this is on your radar. Talk to me.
It is on my radar as I'm jumping up and down right now. I feel like I'm loosening up. I'm trying to do my Ali shuffle in the lab right now, guys. I mean, I talked about it for a minute. It's one of my spots right now. You guys know how I do my thing. I really like this game. I've been talking about the Carolina Panthers being overrated. I know Hat's going to come in and tell me about Green Bay's defense. They don't put enough pressure on a quarterback and whatever. Look,
they don't.
When your tight end is your biggest asset on the team, you're getting no production out of your wide receivers. Your running backs are Mets, and you're going. It's basically Greg Olsen and it's Killer Cam. All right,
Stewart too. You got Stewart out there too.
I know Stewart's out there, but, Stewart, up and down. Sometimes he can play well. Sometimes he can't. My thing is, it's an easy blueprint for the Green Bay Packer defense to try to stop, as far as I'm concerned, okay? I think they're very one-dimensional. The Panthers are. I believe that, the Green Bay Packers will do their thing defensively. They'll figure it out how to shut this two down, the 1-2 punch. Just cover Olsen and spy Cam. Put Matthews on the spy with Cam. I don't know what you do. And then throw somebody on Olsen, and you should be all set defensively. On the offensive side, we know that the Panthers defense, they're going to be pretty good at the beginning, but Cam's going to leave them out there for a long time. They do a lot of 3-and-outs. I believe Aaron Rodgers is probably ticked off about last week's performance, coming out this week, ready to get it going, ready to put last week behind him, get back onto winning ways. I like Green Bay Packers to win this game. The spread's 2.5. Now, here's the deal, guys. As crazy as this sounds, and you guys know I like the money line, and I know you're going to say don't bother money line in this case, because it's under 3, and that sounds great theoretically, and I hear you. However, this is what I'm recommending, because this is what I'm going to do most likely. I would definitely money line this game. Whatever your number is that you're going to use, take a portion of it and money line it, and take a portion of it and play it -2. Reason being is with the 2-point conversion, not the 2-point conversion, with the extra point that's going on with football nowadays, you're getting a couple of inadvertent misses in here. And I know the Packers have one of the better kickers in the game, but just so you don't get played with that extra point, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it just so you just got to win. You're probably going to be all set with the 2.5, but just to be careful, because I was in this spot a couple of weeks ago. I forget what game it was, but I was like, man, good thing I money line this, because this could have turned out to be a mess for me.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Dan, what's your thoughts?
I'm on board with the dream, but not for slightly different reasons. I think Aaron Rodgers might not have a huge game today, which doesn't make me happy because he's obviously my quarterback in my fantasy league. But I think Eddie Lacy actually has a big day today. The Panthers, while they're number 6 in pass defense, they're number 16 in total rush defense. They give up 113 yards per game. I actually think that Eddie Lacy finally gets it going today, starts running downhill, has a pretty big game. Aaron Rodgers still has plenty of targets. And I know that Carolina, look, I'm not underrating them. They did almost get beat by the Colts at home last week. Okay, the Colts are garbage.
Okay.
So, and look, if you're giving up 26 points to the Colts, I think you might be due for a little bit of a shock. Like you said, the Packers are pissed off.
All right.
And you don't want to go up against a quarterback and a running back tandem like that when they're angry.
This game for me, guys, is a complete stay away from. I can't see the Carolina Panthers going undefeated. Obviously, this is going to be one of their hardest games here. So when you look at this particular game, Green Bay's got to be steaming. I don't know if they're going to lose 2 games in a row personally. I do like the way Killer Cam is playing this year, and I like, just their whole package. But, yeah, coming off of Monday night, I mean, it was pretty hard-fought game in the rain, man. Obviously, they haven't traveled anywhere, but for the most part, I think that I'm just going to fall back and dream. I wish you the best of luck. I hope the Packers win for you.
No doubt.
All right, so the next one we have on the ticket should be the beatdown of the day, but hey, you never know. Any given Sunday, any team could beat anyone else, and that is the Washington Redskins, who are 3-4, going into New England and playing the 7-0 Patriots. New England minus 2 touchdowns, minus 14, with an under-over of 51.5. And I think that New England wins this game pretty handily. I just don't know if I'd consider giving all the 14. Dan, what's your thoughts on the Skins versus Pats today?
Everything in my heart of hearts is telling me that the Patriots go ham again.
How'd you come up with that?
but here's the thing. This is why I'm not playing it. And this goes back to like 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago when we had. When I was on, I think it was on Monday, when we had Scotty Matthews and Gamblew and Jim Fice. And we were talking about the Patriots for another big spread. Patriots, when they're a double-digit favorite, almost never cover. Really? Almost never cover.
So you think that Bill Belichick right now is on the phone with Brady saying, hey, listen, Look, we're a double-digit favorite today, so please just win by 3 points.
It has nothing to do with that, but I also think that Washington's defense is very underrated. I still think that, like I said, in my heart of hearts, I think the Patriots go out there and just absolutely destroy them. Because I still don't think that the Redskins can cover Gronkowski. I think Edelman has another big day, just a ton of receptions coming his way. They keep the running game going. But, again, I'm just not going to play it just because the 14 or 14 and a half doesn't sit right. I do like it if I can get it down. I know that 4 is a nasty number, but I don't think there's any problem there. I think they definitely win by a touchdown.
See, the thing is now that you do the SBTV Nation show, you're now, we've been poisoned because the SBTV Nation will poison you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm also terrified of this game. I don't want to give the 14 points because of the Nation, though. Because 2 years ago, if I was Dolo, I would have went ham on the Patriots because they should kill the Reds. I mean, we all know the Patriots should kill the Redskins. They're home. The Redskins are not good. They got Kissing Cousins coming in there. Their dude is, banged up a little bit. There's no reason the Redskins should even be in this game. It shouldn't even be competitive. The Patriots should destroy them. You should maybe ought to take this down a half a point to 13.5 and it just go to bed. The Patriots should win this game by 21 points. But because I do the show, because I'm cognizant of the underdogs, because I'm cognizant of the public and the line movement and the media and the trends, I don't want to take the Reds. I don't want to take the Patriots minus the 14, and so I'm not.
I completely understand that.
Even though Dream is going to be like 60-3, because if the Redskins gave up 34 points at the Jets, I know. You're right. I've been poisoned. I've been poisoned.
And I love, but I won't be poisoned into taking the Redskins, though. I'm poisoned to the point where I'll just leave it alone. I'm not going to take the Redskins. And guys.
You don't bet against the Patriots.
Go ahead and take that 14 points and nail bite and hope for that backdoor score at the end of the game, like you guys love to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple places where I might add just, do like a 3-team 10-pointer and have the Patriots in there at -4. But yeah, 14 points, like I said, if you don't take the Patriots, don't play the game.
Yeah, and by the way, it's beautiful. Listen, New England, I might be believing into the global warming thing, even though I was cussing them out a couple of weeks ago. But New England right now, it's beautiful here. The weather here is fantastic. This is some of our best weather we've had up until this point in November, and I can't even remember the last time it was this warm in November.
Yeah, and I saw for all you guys out west, it's snowing out there. Good luck. Thanks for taking it on the chin.
Yeah, and don't try to cry to us because we got no sympathy for that. Because trust me, we usually have snow, so we're good with you crying to us.
Guys, we're live on Twitter right now at SBTV Nation. You can follow us there and go from there as well and communicate with us as the rest of the nation does here. But taking a look at the next game we got on the ticket, we got the Titans, Tennessee Titans, who are 1-6 coming into the 4-4 Saints, and Drew Brees, who is 3-1 at home. New Orleans minus 7.5, under over of 48 points. Breezy found some offense last week, Dan.
Did he?
Just a little, and I mean, look.
Also found a booty defense.
Yeah, yes, he did. No one that could, the Giants. But I mean, it was the same for both. I mean, New Orleans has such a bad defense. The Giants have such a bad defense. No one could get to the passer. It looked like guys weren't even covered. It looks like they were playing 15 on 10, 15 on 11, whatever out there. But look, I really like New Orleans today. You have Tennessee. And I'm trying to see, who are they starting? Is it Mettenberger today, or is I think Mariota's back, right?
I think Mariota is probable on my board here.
Okay. Now I'm seeing Mariota out and Mettenberger in.
Really?
What? Yeah, I'm seeing it. So guys, obviously check your quarterback, but either way, Tennessee's in the middle. They're in flux. They fired their coach. I don't think they're the type of team that has enough talent at all on their team to be like, our coach, like how Miami did and came out and blasted the team. That's not happening. I think Tennessee gets absolutely killed today by New Orleans. I like this in, maybe in a 7-pointer.
Okay.
You'll get it down to a half point or money line if you want, whatever obviously you want to do. But, New Orleans found their offense last week. Tennessee's defense is not that much better than the Giants.
Got it, exactly. Guys, make sure that you watch, at the end. I don't know if you have time to do this or whatever, but if you're playing fantasy sports, one of the fantasy sports sites that I play on right now has Mariota as starting. So, or as a probable player, and it says that Mariota will start Sunday's game against the Saints. So, if he sits and you start him, you're going to be pretty damn pissed, man. So, make sure you have the right information on that before you do anything.
Now I'm seeing conflicting reports, but I am seeing now that he's back.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, we got Breezy, and I think the one
you don't want to play Mariota today. No, maybe you do against the Saints. Maybe you do, but with a coaching change and all that, rookie quarterback.
Don't be surprised if Breezy gets kind of a slow start offensively as far as his passing is concerned, because Tennessee is number 3 in all of football in pass defense. Just so
I know, but we have to also, again, this is one of those where I'm not saying they're bad. Obviously, the numbers say that, but they've also, their schedule so far.
I was just getting ready to do that.
Is brutal. They haven't faced one quarterback. At the Buccaneers, rookie. At the Browns, no quarterback. Colts with a broken ribbed Andrew Luck, okay? And they still gave up a 35 spot to him. Yeah. Bills, no quarterback. They had E.J. Manuel in for that game. Dolphins, they got blasted by Tannehill, 38 points. The Falcons game was interesting, obviously. They lost 10-7, but the Falcons have been off a little bit. And then at the Texans, even the Texans quarterback got in there and they lost 20-6. This is the best quarterback playing the best football he's played in 2 years, knowing he has to win. That division's already getting run away from. He's got to, it's all like every game's a must-win for Breezy and at home.
Yep.
Oh, man, New Orleans, I think, is going to murder him.
All right, Dream, what's your thoughts?
At least get it down below 7.5, though.
Yeah, you got to get it down to 7.5. Something about this game, though, because Breezy and them been dusty, up until last week and the week before. And I get, okay, maybe they made a few adjustments and things got better. But this was a seriously bad team as well a couple of weeks ago. And I pretty much a wrap with them, as I am a Drew Brees fantasy owner and last, like, the bottom of both the fantasy leagues that I'm in. So I'm not unfamiliar with the Saints not really being all that still. They still don't really have a running game. Will they be able to pass on the Titans? I think they probably were going to have some success because they can pass on mostly any defense, but I'm not going to go crazy with this game. I don't really like this game. I'm going to just recommend, I think that the Saints can win this game probably by a field goal at home, a close game. Up until last week, we really didn't see an explosion of offense out of the Saints, but I do not love this game by any chance. I would actually recommend you just stay away from this game, but if you got to play it, I think the Saints could win. Get it, obviously, under a field goal.
Right. I definitely see where you're coming from, but the other reason why I like this is, and a lot of things, I don't know if anybody's seeing this, and I love this guy when he was with New England. This offense changed when they brought in Benjamin Watson. When they got a legit tight end. And Benjamin Watson has been in the league forever. He's a veteran tight end. They should have never got rid of Jimmy Graham. And also, you got to remember, maybe that O-line is finally pulling together.
Yep.
So the Saints are very dangerous. I see what you're saying, Dream, but I think they keep rolling.
All right, sounds good, man. Next game we have on a ticket, guys, is, hold on, let me pull it up, is the Miami Dolphins coming into the 3-4 Buffalo Bills. Both teams are actually 3-4. Buffalo -3 with an under-over of 43.5. Don't really know what the weather is up there. I'm looking at right now, 42 degrees and partly cloudy.
It's football weather, baby.
It's not bad. It's not bad at all, man. Taking a look at this game, guys, I am a Miami Dolphins fan. However, I am not a Miami Dolphins fan as far as my wallet is concerned. So, not this year anyway, man. With Dan Campbell at the helm now as coach, they were halfway decent, but they've had a lot of time off since the beatdown of the Patriots. So,
that's not a good thing.
Yeah, this game can go either way, man. I never liked the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins matchup ever. ever. I can usually call them like during the Patriots games or during the Jets games or whatever, but when they play the Bills, I never can pick a side, and if I do, it's always wrong. So I'm going to stay away from this. I don't have any opinion whatsoever. And Dream, I'm sure you're not having any opinion on this nasty game either.
I don't really have an opinion, but I do like the Bills. In this spot, only because they're home and because the Bills already handled Miami in Miami, and didn't have a lot of issues with them.
Right.
I believe that the Bills will beat Miami. I'm not going to go crazy. Financially, I'm not involved in it either. But if you guys want my opinion, I would take the Bills and I will buy it down to 2.5.
All right, Dan, you?
Yeah. I mean, the more I don't think I'm going to get involved, but the more I look at this game, the more I like the Bills. You know, the Bills, when they played they went to Miami already this year, and they killed them. I mean, it was 41-14? I mean, so, and now you got Tyrod Taylor back and healthy, and I like Tyrod. Remember, he was the #1 fantasy point-getting quarterback until he got hurt.
Right.
That team was doing really well with him. He runs an offense that, Rex Ryan likes, and, the team's comfortable with.
Which is no offense.
Right. Well, I mean, it's pretty much true, but, it's... I mean, the running game has picked it up. I think that there's something about this game that screams at me that Miami might come through. That's why I'm not going to play it. I mean, I lean Buffalo. I just can't get involved.
Boys, I'm going to tell you right now as a Dolphin fan, stay away from it.
It's a division game. You don't want to get involved.
Yeah, I got 3 people on here that actually helped us out here with the Marcus Mariota info. Thank you to Strategic Investments, my boy Rigetti and Sir Mata. Appreciate that very much. And it's always nice having a nation to back us up as far as our information is concerned. So next one we have on a ticket is the St. Lucia Rams, who are 4-3 with a winning record.
And what they give us, that Mariota is probable?
Yeah, no, he's playing.
Okay.
He's playing. Versus the Minnesota Vikings, who are 5-2 and 3-0 at home. Minnesota is slightly favored, -1.5, with an under over 40.5 points. Wow, this is a pretty interesting damn game, Dream. What do you got?
Both teams remind me of each other a lot. With the exception of, I'm going to give the Vikings 2 nods. Obviously, at quarterback, I like Teddy Bridgewater more than I like Nick Foles. And I also am even though he hasn't been too great this season, I am still waiting for Adrian Peterson to emerge and have a big game. That doesn't mean he's going to have it against the Rams, but I'm expecting him to have a big game. The Rams are good at home. A lot better at home than they are on the road. I like the Vikings in this spot. The Vikings have shown that, they're able to get the wins that they need to get at home when they're home. They come through and they play, better football. So, this game being a pick, I really am leaning. I really like the Vikings. I think I'm actually going to get involved in this game, and I'm going to take the Vikings at home in this particular matchup. I like them. I think they win the game today.
Yeah, and you got.
I couldn't disagree more.
Okay.
St. Louis has the #7 rushing defense in the league. They only give up 98 yards per game.
Okay.
And their passing defense as well is was it number 6? Oh, sorry, number 8. Number 8. So their defense overall has been awesome. I understand they're 1-2 on the road, but that one win was at Arizona. And that weird loss to the Redskins and then at Green Bay, there's really no shame in that. They're coming off 2 home wins against bad teams. But the Vikings, I don't think Adrian Peterson has a big game, but I think Gurley could have a big game against Minnesota. And I also think that St. Louis has found their offense a little more. I expect Foles to really be hitting Tavon Austin a lot during this game, and I think that St. Louis actually wins pretty big.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because I understand Minnesota's outdoors now, but there's no weather. I think this game would benefit even more, but you would see it in a line adjustment if this game was indoors. But I still think the Rams definitely get it done today at Minnesota.
Wow.
I just am going to say that I know you guys like stats, but I've said this several times. Stats don't play the game. And once again, you know what? You did mention the fact that the Rams are a dome team coming to play outside.
Yep.
This may have a little bit of an effect on them as well. But I guess we'll watch it and we'll talk about it later.
All right, sounds good, man. Going to the next one we have on a ticket is something that's got me pretty interested. But, Dan, you're starting to kind of talk me off the ledge a little bit with this game, man. We got the Jacksonville Jags, who are 2-5, 0-3 away, coming into the New York Jets, who are 4-3 and 2-1 at home. New York Jets are minus 8 points.
Ridiculous.
Under over of 42. But it's the Jags, dude.
Still ridiculous.
Under over 42 points in this particular affair. Guys, you know what? Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to make the start in this game.
Oh, yeah,
even though he's got the thumb issue, it's on his non-throwing hand, and he's going to be in this game. But, Dan, you're telling me that Marshall might be out.
Brandon Marshall is questionable. He's got an ankle and a toe from that awkward tackle. And I think even if he plays, he's being used really as a decoy. Like, so what I'm seeing here, and this is from ESPN, he's expected to play, but I don't know how many plays will actually be. But the other thing is, I think they could still throw the ball to Decker. Okay. I think Mangold, who I need to see if he's playing today, because I think he's a bigger piece of the puzzle. I mean, he might be one of the best centers in the league, and he is playing. So the Jets have their offensive line fully back and healthy. So that takes a little sting away, but the 8 points is too much. I do think they'll probably cover, but look, guys, maybe get 7 points off it somewhere, pair it with something else. I just think to be safe, you have to do that. I think the Jets win pretty easy. I think they come back. That defense was embarrassed.
Yes.
Absolutely embarrassed.
Right.
But even after getting embarrassed last week, they're still the number 1 rushing defense in the league.
Yep.
And I think the number 6 passing defense in the league.
Number 3 overall.
So Jacksonville, I think they really stifle and confuse Bortles today. And they get out there and they get it done.
All right.
But 8 points too much.
I like the Jets to win today as well. Dream, what's your thoughts?
It's just too much. I mean, the points are ridiculous. And I don't care that it's the Jags. The Jets are not really all that much better than the Jags. So, I mean, right now, I think about this. We thought the Jets were headed in a specific direction. They went into Oakland last week and got murdered. All right, and you could talk about Fitzpatrick going down, but what did that have to do with the defense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Defense didn't even get on that.
Nah, they didn't even get on it. So I'm like, look, dude, the Jets, okay, cool, they're improved. They're better. They're not at 8 points. They shouldn't be giving nobody 8 points. Clemson probably could come in there and beat them right now. I'm just saying. I don't like the spread. I hate it. I'm not the biggest fan of the game. Will the Jets probably squeak out a tight, nasty game? Yeah, probably. I don't love this game. I recommend you stay away from it because, even if Fitzpatrick is in there, okay, I mean, there's going to be some degree of he's not 100%. And even when he is 100%, the Jets tend to struggle a little bit still offensively. I'm not really impressed with the Jets running game, all that to take over now, because they're going to try to implement a little bit more running, obviously, with Fitzpatrick, Leary. And the Jags are aware that Fitzpatrick is injured as well. So you got to keep all these things in a perspective. Now you're talking about also adding the dynamic of, Brandon Marshall being a tad bit banged up. Look, leave this game alone, guys, please.
Yeah, the only other thing, and this is actually putting me more back on the Jets. Obviously, I'm not taking it at 8. But I might get it at 6.5 because the other thing is how bad Jacksonville is on the road.
Okay.
They are so bad. They played 3 road games. At the Patriots, 51-17 loss.
Yep.
At the Bucs, they lost 38-31, and they lost 16-13 at the Colts. And the Colts offense is so bad, but it's the Jaguars. Like I'm saying, they've lost at home against the Texans. I know they beat the Bills, and that's okay. And they beat the Dolphins, which, whatever. And that was week 2. The Dolphins were bad, and they beat them by 3. part of me is saying that the Jets absolutely kill them today. But again, at 6.5, not 8.
All right, sounds good, man. I like the Jets too. I like this next game too, dude. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but the Oakland Raiders are 4-3 coming into the 4-4 Pittsburgh Steelers, who lost last week, who had a shot to knock off the Cincinnati Bengals last week, who are undefeated still and couldn't get the job done. Pittsburgh, it went from 4, it's all the way up to 6 points now as a favorite with an over of 48.5. Guys, I like the Steel Curtain. I think the Steel Curtain get the job done today. Big Ben, second game back. I think he could carve up the Raiders secondary and get the job done and win this particular game. Dream, what's your thoughts on the Steel Curtain, kid?
I got to be honest with you, dude. We talked about this on Houston, and you were all over the Steel Curtain. I just can't go there with you, man. I don't. You know, it's this another game. I'm here saying I can't mess with this game neither. I just don't. I don't like what I see out of the Steelers. I don't like the Steeler defense. I talked about them being awful since week 1, and they haven't really seemed to improve to me. You lost Le'Veon Bell last week. Yeah, Ben's out there, but he's visibly, a bit hobbled and not his healthy 100% self. Okay, so now here's the other point of it, which I can understand a bit on your end. Steelers are home. Ben's going to probably find a way to win. Should be like an ugly game. They should be able to hold them. They were able to hold Cincinnati down a bit. So hopefully the Steelers can hold. And maybe this week Ben makes the play to win the game instead of the play that lost him the game. I hear you with that. I can see that a little bit as well. But for me, it's another game that I really don't like. I would stay away from. I guess I'm going to lean the Steelers if you take them. You got to get it down to nothing. And the Steelers will maybe eke out a win, but I don't like the game.
I think both.
Go ahead,
Dan.
I like Oakland.
What? Really?
I like Oakland here.
Wow, you've been on this.
Look, hear me out. You got 2 of the worst passing defenses in the league, 25 and 26.
Oh, I know that. Yeah, it's going to be a shootout as far as the air is
and
concerned.
then you actually have Oakland, who's the number 13 passing offense, and Pittsburgh, the number 15 passing offense. So you're going to see the Antonio Brown, Amari Cooper show today. But Oakland right now, I think they're at that point where they're still able to take people by surprise. I think that Oakland team, not a lot of people. Look, they're Oakland. We've been joking about them for a decade. But I really, really think that Oakland comes into Pittsburgh today and actually wins the game.
I wish you the best of
The
luck
other
with
thing
that
here,
for you.
here's the other thing, right? So we got an injured Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
And we got D'Angelo Williams. And don't get me wrong, I like D'Angelo Williams. Nobody's realizing Oakland has the number 2 rushing defense in the league right now.
Oh, no, definitely. Definitely, they're stewed up front. Absolutely. They
They
don't let anybody
are,
run on them.
I mean, and I know you can pass all day on them, but look, I don't know if the timing, and who knows if Big Ben is, he was not 100% last week, and I didn't think he would go out there at 100%. You can also run the ball on Pittsburgh. You can. You can do it. So,
they still are. They average under 100 yards per game as far as they're allowing on defense as far as the ground is concerned.
All right, hold on a second, because here we go again. Cleveland, Chicago, San Diego, and the Jets. Stop it with the defensive stats.
All right, sounds good, man. Hey, you know what? Well, Pittsburgh had to play Cincinnati last week and held them in check. And Cincinnati has a really good offense, dude. So, you got to keep that in
yeah,
mind.
but this is a classic trap.
All right.
Classic trap. They come off the Bengals game, and I know that it was a brutal loss, but that's the other thing. A brutal loss they should have won. Raiders kind of come in under the radar. Okay. I like them.
All right, let's move over to the 4 o'clocks, guys, because we got a couple of on the ticket. We actually have 3 today, Dream.
Yes.
Instead of doing 2. And they got the New York Giants at
finally.
New York Giants 4-4 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And New York is minus 2.5 with an under-over 49 points. Dan, this is your New York Giant team. JPP back in the lineup for this one. What are your thoughts on Eli Manning? Had a hell of a game last week. Do you think he continues that or what?
I don't know if he'll throw 6 touchdown passes, but Eli has been...
He won't.
I understand that. I don't know if anybody's ever thrown back-to-back 5 or more touchdown games. But look, the Giants defense has been absolutely brutal, but supposedly JPP looks good. I don't know if he means more physically or if he means more mentally to that team. The Giants do have the 10th best passing offense in the league. I mean, they've been carving it up, not just that game. I think the Giants beat Tampa Bay here. They've always played pretty well against them. Coughlin against a rookie quarterback, I think they'll be able to do enough. And they still get turnovers. So, I mean, I think they win. If you're going to do it, money line it.
Dream. Giants, Bucks. Nasty game, right?
Nasty game. I'm going to just give you guys the lean. I like the Bucks.
You like the Bucks, huh?
I don't think the Giants are a good team. I'm sorry. I've been trying to work with them for most of the season. I don't like what they do on defense. They always do stupid stuff on offense. Eli, he's great for like a quarter, and then there's that one quarter that he's like should not even be an NFL quarterback.
He's only thrown like one interception all year.
I understand, which lost him the game, by the way.
Yeah, but when you have to put the game on your shoulders because your defense hasn't done a damn thing, the offense is fine. The offense is one of the best offenses in the league. Yep. The defense, you're right, is brutal, and they're idiots. They're absolute idiots half time. And Tom Coughlin is a senile old man. I hate to say it. I love you, Tom. It's time to go. When you can't remember where the challenge flag is, and then it's too late to throw it on an obvious drop pass, that costs you a game. Look, I'm with you, Dream. I think the coaching staff is to blame, but it's Tampa Bay.
The offense is one of the best offenses in the league. So you're telling me you'd rather have this offense over the Patriot offense, over the Green Bay offense, over the Denver offense,
over the Denver offense? Of course I would.
No.
You'd have to be an idiot not to have them over the Denver offense. Anybody would take that. If you put the Denver defense with the Giants offense right now, you'd have the best team in the league.
Nah, I can't do it. I can't put not one of your wide receivers as of right now is better than Thomas from Denver. I cannot give Beckham.
Oh, come on.
I can't give Beckham the nod over Thomas.
Oh, my God. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. You got Noodle Arm Peyton Manning, who hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in 5 weeks against the guy who threw 6 last week.
I didn't say against the Saints. He threw 6 against the Saints, Dan. It's the Saints.
Denver, look at who Denver's played, and Peyton Manning had. Without that defense, Denver would be nothing. I'm not saying that Peyton. Look, he threw for 350. No touchdowns last week.
You know what? I gave you the pass with the Mets because I know you get your homer teams and you fall in love with them, and I gave you the pass on the Mets and respected you. I am not giving you the pass on the Giants. This Giant team is not good. Offensively, they're not good. Defensively, they're not good. Don't tell me about how they scored against the nasty Saints who stink too.
Better than
the Giants
Denver,
are not good, and they're probably going to lose today against Tampa Bay.
Absolutely not.
All right, we'll see.
I love
Lock
this.
It up.
This is hilarious, guys. You know what? I'm going to take that little clip and I'm going to make a video out of it.
You got to lock up this win. Look, look. You want your bottle of Ciroc back, Dream. You want to try and win. It's been almost a year. I've done enough for you.
I'm not on Famous Jameis. I'm not going to do it on Famous Jameis.
Right, go on. If you want,
we will find our spot. But
I got my picture with Famous Jameis. I like Famous Jameis, but he's gonna throw at least 2 interceptions today.
I don't love this game. I don't love the Buccaneers, but the Giants stink, and we just got to accept.
I'm not saying they don't stink. But they're still going to beat a crap Tampa Bay team.
I don't know. I don't think that they are. I like Tampa Bay. I'm not betting it, but I'm leaning Tampa Bay.
Maybe we should start off with the Giant games next week.
Home team dog, by the way, Hat.
Oh, home team dog, but it's not prime time, though.
So what? This will be the game of the week is that they're playing the Giants. So it's the New York media, so it's kind of almost prime time.
All right. Well, you know what? Hey, as a middleman here in this particular argument you guys are having, I think Odell Beckham is far superior to Thomas.
To Demaryius Thomas?
Yes.
You guys are crazy. Get out of here. There's no way. First of all, he's not even as tall as Demaryius Thomas.
That doesn't matter.
Sure it does. As a wide receiver, Who do you think you're going to pick? You're going to start your team. You got a choice of Demaryius Thomas, Odell Beckham. You're going to take Beckham?
Wow.
Oh, I would take Beckham over almost any receiver in the league.
I wouldn't.
Beckham's dope, by the way. Anyway, moving on to the next
Any
game.
receiver in the league. Stop it.
Dude, he has had 3 games where he's gone over 120 yards receiving.
So what? I would not take. You're going to take Odell Beckham over Julio Jones, over Calvin Johnson? Are you kidding me?
Calvin Johnson right now? Of course. You're crazy. Drink Kool-Aid on Calvin Johnson.
I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about just take a receiver. I'm not talking about right. You take. You know how you just said give the Giants Denver's defense. Go put Megatron on like Green Bay and Denver or New England and see what his numbers look like. Matter of fact, put him on the Giants. He'll have better numbers than Beckham.
Wow.
Oh, he definitely will, but I mean, it's not my fault that Matt Stafford, who threw for 5,000 yards a few years ago, is gone in the tank.
But guys, you're telling me that Beckham's the best receiver in the league? Stop it! Just because he makes a couple of circus catches, that's cute. He is not the best receiver in the league.
It goes probably Rob Gronkowski, even though as a tight end, he's probably the most valuable receiver in the league. It goes Gronkowski. It might go Julio Jones and then Odell Beckham.
No! My God! No! No, stop it.
All right.
Stop.
Anyway, moving on to the next game we have.
Stop it.
Great radio, man. Next one we have is the Falcons coming into the 49ers. So I think we're all gonna finally agree on something here. Let's see. Atlanta is -7 with an under over a 43.5. Colin Kaepernick is being benched, right, Dream?
No doubt, because I'm real about my team. They stink. All right? I don't make no excuses, pull no punches just because I like them. I ain't going to try to make up for them. They are a bad team. They stink. They're going to get beat by the Falcons this week. Don't lay to 7. And they're definitely the Niners are going to lose today.
All right. The Niners are probably going to lose every week, man. But, Dan, what's your thoughts on this? You think Atlanta bounces back and gets the job done?
I think they kill them. I think Atlanta kills the 49ers. I mean, no, because, I heard one thing this week that really made a lot of sense, and this is, I'm trying to remember if it was Kurt Warner saying it or one of the other ex-quarterbacks that they have on, but the thing is Blaine Gabbert is the only guy that you've ever seen play that position scared. I mean, he looks terrified sometimes when he's out there. Look, I think the Falcons have been down a little bit. But the other, the 49ers defense isn't that good. I think Freeman and Julio Jones have big games today, and this game's never really in question.
Okay. All right. Sounds good, man. A lot of people on Twitter commenting on the little thing going back and forth, man. I love it. That's hilarious.
Wait. Demaryius Thomas has 1 touchdown reception this year.
Oh, my God. So we're basing it on this year only. Okay.
I'm here and now.
I said if you had your team to start, you would take Demaryius Thomas over. You would take Odell Beckham over Demaryius Thomas.
100 times out of 100.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Damn.
If I had to draft a fantasy team right now, and I could take, if I had the number, and they said, look, you got to take either Demaryius Thomas or Odell Beckham. That's it.
All right.
I'm taking Odell Beckham on 100 out of 100 teams.
Dream, let's talk about, speaking of the Denver Broncos, let's talk about them since they are 7-0 and 4-0 away coming into the Indianapolis Colts, who are 3-5, 1-3 at home, and an underdog at home. Denver -5, under over a 46. Dream, this is your boy here and your superstar receiver. What do you got going? What do you got here? The best receiver in football.
Oh, I didn't say he was the best receiver in football, but I did say he's better than Odell Beckham.
All right, what do you got?
And not by I won't say by a whole lot, but I think Demaryius Thomas is a better wide receiver than Odell Beckham personally. That doesn't mean that Odell Beckham's not going to get there in another year or so, but right now, if I had to start my team, I would take Demaryius Thomas. That's the argument that I'm making. So now, back to this game. All right, we got Peyton Manning. We got Denver coming off of a huge win. We got the Colts coming off of a huge loss. We got the Colts with a terrible defense going against Manning, whose arm is good, no good, I don't know. But he's inside a dome, so we know there won't be any weather factors right now. The question is, can the Broncos run the ball, which we saw a little bit of the run game emerge last week. And obviously, if you're going to be able to run, the Colts are the team that you should be able to run the ball against as well successfully. That being said, the Colts obviously want to get this game. I'm sure Luck wants to beat Manning, because he replaced him. You got all that love, hate, and everything there. But the Broncos have the better defense. I'm back and forth in this game. I don't really know where to go. I mean, the Broncos stick out to me. I love them. You want to like them. The just question is what Peyton Manning is showing up today. Is it going to be the Peyton Manning that can get the ball there, that can make the throws, or is it going to be the Peyton Manning, like Dan said, the wimpy arm Peyton Manning? I don't know which one it's going to be, but I am leaning towards the Broncos and their defense getting it done. Once again, we're at a 5-point spread, which I hate that number. I think you got to take it down. I'm going to try to stay away from this game, guys, because I really don't like it. But I lean Denver, minus 2.5.
If there's any grass team coming into a dome that has an advantage, it's probably your boy.
I would say that.
100%.
You know what I mean? So,
I mean, the Broncos, I think, look, I know that the Colts played tough against the Panthers, and they did, but Denver's defense is in another stratosphere. I mean, you saw what they did to Aaron Rodgers last week, and we were all shocked by that.
77 yards passing total.
That's it.
Crazy.
That's it. And again, I think that remember, the Vernon Davis pickup is huge.
Yes. Is he? He's going to be ready to go, right?
I believe he's ready to go because all they need him to do is go 8 yards, cut across the middle, and let Peyton hit him. And keep hitting them because that's a threat since they lost Julius that they haven't had. Peyton needs to be able to throw the underneath routes. And it also looks like the running game, that running game was dope last week. They were the worst running team yards per average in the league to start the season. And for the last couple of weeks, they've actually been one of the best yards per average rushing teams.
Okay.
Hillman has gone off and C.J. Anderson went off last week. I think they both had over 100 yards rushing. And the Colts, we know about their defense.
Sure.
And who knows? Are Luck's ribs still bruised, broken, whatever they were? I don't know. Nobody knows. And you don't want to deal with Denver when you're banged up, man. I mean, you're gonna be sacked. He's gonna be hit. And if he gets nicked up, that's it for that team.
Yeah.
I like the Broncos even with the 5.
You just got to feel like the Colts have to have a sense of urgency at some point. Just
why? They're leading the division.
Yeah, they do, but not this week.
Division.
They're tied for the division lead.
Yeah, but go ahead, look at who they're tied with.
The Houston
Texans,
but
I get it. You have to remember, the Colts, realistically, I believe they'll lose this week. They'll lose next week at the Falcons. But then they have the Bucs, who they'll probably win against at home. Then they'll lose to the Steelers, but then the end of their season's a joke.
Okay.
At Jacksonville, home against Houston, at Miami, home against Tennessee.
Got it.
They could realistically, there might be a 7-9 team that gets that. That gets that playoff.
6-10.
It's possible. It's possible. Which, if that happens,
and they'll be tied with whoever wins the NFC East too. By the way.
Could be,
because
I think the NFC still get an 8-8 team in.
It's going to be two awful teams in the their division and the NFC East as well.
They'll probably both get to the Super Bowl.
All right,
yeah,
I know.
Right. Yeah. That's the way it goes, man. You already know that. So, all right, guys. And the final game we have on the ticket is Sunday Night Football. Speaking of the NFC East, we have the Philadelphia Eagles, who are 3-4, 1-3 away, coming into the 2-5 Cowboys, who are 1-3. You got a home team underdog on prime time here, and Philadelphia is -3 with an under over 43.5. Guys, this game I want no part of. Dre, Dan, I'll start with you. What do you got here?
I don't want to, and look, I don't want to bring up political things or things like that, but anybody who
bring it up.
Anybody who's a parent, especially, okay? And look, I got 2 daughters.
So do I.
I cannot sit idly by, and I'm not going to watch this football game.
Okay.
I will not watch this football game. Look, I know there's a lot of monsters in the NFL and a lot of people who've done bad things, and I don't want to say that because the pictures came out or whatever, but look, we didn't see them, but what bothers me is that the NFL, the NFLPA, Jerry Jones, all these people saw this.
I'm with you.
Saw this, and he has a job making millions of dollars.
I'm with you.
With young kids watching him.
I'm with you.
And I'm sorry, but
I'm with you.
I can't. Look, I'll look at the score tomorrow morning, and that's about it.
I'm with you. Dan, I can't. I tweeted it yesterday. Somebody tweeted the boycott of it. I happened to retweet it yesterday, and I am like, and I'm like you, a father. I got a daughter. You know what I'm saying? Not only I had a daughter, I got a mother, and a wife. And let me just tell you something, dude. To me, like, there's nothing lower than a person, a man, to put their hands on. I'm not an advocate of that. I think that's so corny. I think it's dusty. I think you're a coward. What this guy did and those pictures are shit. And on the flip side, shame on her for taking the money and not trying to prosecute this to the fullest too. And you know what? I still don't get it, because she still could have prosecuted him and still got paid. But you know what? I'm gonna bypass. I'm gonna bypass all of that.
Can't judge her, although
I'm not trying to.
Oh no, I know you're not. I know you're not.
Right, I'm not. But I just wish. I don't understand how you don't stand up for yourself and you don't prosecute this thing to the fullest. This guy honestly should have been put, as far as I'm concerned, send him to freaking Iraq. You want to beat up on, send him to Iraq. Drop him off in the middle of over there, and then go. He wants to have assault rifles and all. You want to be a war hero, dude? Go over there and do that crap. You know what I'm saying? There's no place for it in society here. And like you said, the Cowboys, people knew about this stuff. It was talked about when he was in Carolina. They picketed outside the stadium in Carolina about it. So this is not. This was bad, and the Cowboys knew this guy was bad news. They took him anyway, and that says, I've been for the most part, an advocate of Jerry Jones, but I got to turn my back on him in this situation. All right, now back to the game. Since we're getting back to this, the Eagles are like vodka. Like, it's bad for you, but you still want to try to drink it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I attest the Eagles to. The Cowboys right now, you know what? On karma alone, just for having this dude, it's a nightmare, and shame on you and bad news. Not to mention, you got Matt Castle back there. Matt Castle is a wrap, guys. There's a reason why the Bills, let him go at the beginning of the season. Now he landed in Dallas. I know everybody's talking about, you remember when Matt Castle was dope. All that's telling me is Bill Belichick is even better of a coach than I thought he was, because for him to get 11 wins out of this guy, you know what? That they should write on his tombstone when he dies. That should be his greatest accomplishment. How you got 11 wins out of Matt Castle, I can't figure it out. I heard Michael Irvin talking about it this weekend. He said that Matt Castle couldn't throw one of the simplest routes in football, was able to do it. I'm taking the Eagles here, guys. It's another game I like. I know I bet the Eagles every week. I don't know why, but I like the Eagles every week, and I like them again this week. I'm going to take them. Matt Castle's not going to get it done. The Eagles will not win the Cowboys will not win until Romo comes back. The Eagles should be all set to get this game. I like them here. I'll obviously buy it down to 2.5. Eagles roll in this game.
Wow. I don't like it. I don't like the game one bit, man. I just, I'm pretty fixed on the 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and look, guys, I see you all sending me articles
till they're over.
I see all these guys sending me articles on all these players getting arrested and all that. Okay, great. No, none of them. Look, lack of child support payments is not walking up to the mother of your child and beating the hell out of her and throwing her on a bed full of rifles. Okay,
he got a kid with her too.
I don't know. Someone was sending me an article on. I'm just saying. I don't know. It was either way, but no, they're saying someone sent me because Will Hill didn't pay his child support payments for late payment. Okay, and Dan O'Connor having a knife in his suitcase that he forgot about is not the same as beating your wife or your girlfriend. I mean, guys,
physical barrel shooting himself in the leg. You know what I'm saying? You want to do that? I'm all for it.
I am, look, and not only that, but guys, look, I don't care if someone gets arrested for drugs or anything like that. Look, those are personal choices that people make in their life. I don't necessarily think should be crimes or whatever, but when you go and you assault people, especially a woman, that is egregious. That is so egregious. Especially, dude's a killing machine. If the dude were to punch me in the face, there's a good chance I would die.
But that's my thing. He didn't just, you know what? It wasn't like Ray Rizzle where he just, punched her in the face, gave her a two-piece. And I'm not laughing, but I am laughing. But it's not like he went ham on her. Yeah. And you guys if you're making excuses for this guy, stop. Please, just don't. Come on. Don't even try to. Don't talk about how other cats did bad. Yeah, okay, they did. But we're not talking about them right now because they're not relevant right now. This guy in his when they're relevant, we'll talk about what they did too. But this guy is seriously relevant right now, and this is awful, by the way. So don't try to defend this dude, please. That's just the wrong guy. Just either if you don't like it or you like it or if you think it, just leave it alone. But you can't defend this dude in this situation.
Let me put it to you this way, guys. Also, if you're someone that thinks what he did is no big deal, I guarantee you that if you tweet about that and your boss finds out, you're fired on Monday.
Oh, yeah.
I would guarantee it. Yeah. Because it is just not appropriate in any society or any culture, but especially in the here and now. It's just not the way to do things. And I know there are bad guys in the NFL. And there are bad guys everywhere. But when people do things like this, they should not have a job.
But Doc, here's my thing though. Don't let me peek over at your crib and see at like 9:15 you peeking in on the game though.
I wouldn't do it. I got more.
He's gonna be like, let me get a live line.
You know what I'm saying? Let me get a live line. I got a live fighting at 9:15. Talk about back.
Like, I'm not gonna watch it, but I am gonna.
I'll be finding some NBA.
Be getting involved with the Knickerbockers tonight.
I think actually that's like a 1:30 game.
That's an upgrade.
That's an early game.
All right.
Knicks are gonna beat Lake Show though.
All right, so yeah, just real quick, just any superstar leans as far as the ice or NBA tonight, guys.
I know Dream hates it, but I like the Knicks -5 against Lake Show.
I don't hate it. I just would not touch the Knicks. I don't like the Knicks, but I don't hate it.
You don't hate it, huh?
It's just not something I'm going to do.
You know what?
Antonio Brown just walked into the Pittsburgh Steelers stadium wearing an Amish hat. Dude's wearing a black Amish hat and a T-shirt. I love it.
I love it. Fantastic, guys. Taking a look at the card. Dan, I hate to say this, but I may have to get on the Knickerbockers with you.
Oof.
I hate to say that. And just so you guys know, man, the Cleveland Cavaliers, my boy, may not be playing tonight. Actually, it's at 3:30, so keep that in the back of your brains. You got Toronto coming into Miami. That should be a good game at 6 o'clock. OKC is playing Phoenix. OKC -8.5. And the 9 o'clock game is the one that you might want to get involved in, Dan. Is the Detroit Pistons at the Portland Trailblazers. And
that's a pick 'em, right?
It is Portland -1.5.
Dr. Diz will be watching that instead of the football game.
Yeah.
Doc, don't let me see no tweets about take the Eagles in the second half.
Honestly, like
I'm just teasing with you. I'm with you. I am so with you on that, and I'm glad you said something about it. Like I said, I tweeted about it yesterday. And guys, we do generally try to stay out of controversial, talks as much as possible, but this one I felt is close to home too, as I have a daughter, and I swear to God, if somebody ever did that to my daughter, son, forget it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap because anybody who has a kid, especially a daughter, knows you'll get the death penalty for that child.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on to the ice. Anything on the ice that intrigues you guys?
I didn't see, I want to take a shot. I like this because, I talk about the Islanders. I talk about the Bruins all the time, not being able to play that third quarter. They're coming into the island tonight, and the Islanders are fresh. Bruins played last night. Islanders are fresh. I kind of very lightly have a lean on the Islanders here. Okay. And the other thing is what does Vegas have for an over and under on the Stars-Red Wings game?
Stars and Red Wings, you're looking at 5.5.
5.5. I kind of like the over in the Stars-Red Wings game. If I was going to get involved with this, I would do a 2-team parlay. I would buy the Stars-Red Wings game down to 4.5 and take the over, and I'd take the Islanders on the money line. That's just a slight lean recommendation from the Dream.
And what about the Chicago Blackhawks?
All set with that.
All right, sounds good, guys. All right, so that pretty much does it for the show. Went a little over today, but enjoyed the banter and the back and forth with you guys, man. Crazy emotions today, and we will have a conversation right now about what we are all feeling. So let me just switch this up, and I will start with you, Dream. What are you thinking as far as your leans and stuff today?
The leans. It's one lean for me, and I'm leaning not back but forward, and I'm leaning on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It's my game of the day. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm going it. I'm taking it, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll be happy tomorrow and jumping up and down. But I like the Green Bay Packers. I'm taking them. I have a small opinion about the Minnesota Vikings, and I have another opinion about the Philadelphia Eagles tonight, and that's where I'm at today for football.
All right, sounds good. Dan, what do you want?
Yeah, so I'm going to get the Raiders up to 7.5.
Okay.
I'm on the Rams at +1. Still undecided about the Jets. I'm looking at getting down to 6.5, but we'll see. The Saints have now dropped a half. They're down to 7. I'm going to grab it at that. And then I am going to take a 10-pointer with New England, Green Bay, and Atlanta. So you got New England -4, Green Bay, +7, and then Atlanta +3. And that's what I'm going to roll with.
All right, sounds good, guys. The games I'm looking at as far as teams just to win their respective games are as follows. Obviously, the New England Patriots. I am looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I am looking at the New York Jets. Those are the three that I'm feeling, and we will go from there, guys. So, Dream, what do you got to say to close out of here, kid? Everybody retweet the show.
Definitely got to retweet. Got to thank everybody that's retweeting the show. I got to pull them up any minute as I am just trying to calm down for me and Dr. Dan getting into it. But I love it. I love always talking with my boy. That's my dude, my partner in crime. We can always disagree, but it's always on a respectful manner. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Dan, and I love his picks. I love his insight on the game. However, I am taking Demaryius Thomas over Odell Beckham if I build my NFL team. That being said, I want to thank Justin Keaton, my man Kruk, Casano, Worldwide Sports, Tony Acosta, Direct Sports Solutions is out there. Shy Picks, what's up, man? Hope Mom Dukes is doing well. Eddie E's out there, Total Sports Edge as well. Jay Cass got the New York Giants sign next to his name now. What's going on, Playboy? Christos, The Pick, MG86, It Be Easy. Sir Mata's out there. What's going on, Sir Mata? Jason Riley, Wayne Yarborough, Key MVU, Kevin Porter, Snoopy Betts, Jeff Ryan, G. Rose, Joseph Del Rosario, Terrence Mack, the Caveman is out there. Footballblog.com, my boy Irvin, MC Money, RSI Picks, the NFL Hotline, AB Lent, Benjamin Rowe, Revelation of Random, welcome to the party, Terry Bouchard, Vegas Girl 92661, hope you are happily recovering, sweetheart. C. Rodriguez Jr. is out there, Rigetti, Tip Talker, my boy, the incredible Marlin. We got NFL Fans 2015, JD Yates, Scott Weaver, D, Tommy King from TK Wings, the Canadian Capri, Mario Martinez. Average Joe Punter's out there as well. Can't forget my man OJFB, and not to mention the ever-present Papa Smurf. Guys, as always, I am the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
What do you got to say to close out, Dan?
Hey, Dream, brother. Yeah, I love the banter. I love the back and forth. We can always argue over picks all day long, brother. Don't matter none. Hey, Nation, I love you guys. And no, you will not see me tweeting out any live lines from the Eagles-Cowboys game. That will not be on in my TV. But the Giants will win, and Odell Beckham will have another 2-touchdown game. The other prediction that I'm making today is Drew Brees will have at least 4 touchdown passes.
4 touchdown passes. All right, sounds good, man. And big ups to my man 808 Niner Nation, hashtag SBTV out there, who always retweets us, and just wanted to send a special shout out to him. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there, go easy, do your own homework, take your own plays, make all your dreams a damn reality, and get that money. Let's go.
Peace.